Welcome to Minor Scales Worksheet number 1, How to Build and Play Minor Scales. I like to use listening examples when I'm teaching minor scales, so you'll be hearing how a minor scale is built. And if you have an instrument that you play, it's really good to also use these steps and learn to build a minor scale for yourself so that you can experience it. So let's start with trying to build a minor scale from the C major scale. So what are the notes to the C major scale? They are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. And if we play this scale, it will sound like this. I'm going to play all the white keys on the keyboard. So that should sound very familiar. It's your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do sound. So that is the sound of a major scale. Now, step 2 is finding the relative minor of the key of C major. A minor scale actually uses the exact same notes as its relative major scale. But what the minor scale does is starts on a different note from the note C. So we have to figure out what is that note going to be. Well, there's different methods that you can use. The easiest method is just to take the C major scale and go backwards 2 notes. So we start at C and go back to B and then A. So A is our starting note for our minor scale. That means the relative minor of C major is A minor. Well, what are the notes going to be of the A minor scale? So instead of starting on C now, we're going to start on A and use the exact same notes as the C major scale. So the notes for A minor will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. And this is what we call the natural minor version of the scale. So this is A natural minor, because we haven't made any changes to it yet. Now let's listen and hear what the A natural minor sounds like. So what did you think of that sound? I kind of think that it starts off sounding minor, or kind of sad, but then the rest of the scale sounded a bit odd. That's why we have different versions of the minor scales, because we want to change them so they sound better. In order to make the A natural minor sound a bit better, we are going to try raising the 7th note of the scale. So that would be the G, and we're going to raise it to a G sharp. So now we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, and A. And this version of the minor scale is called the A harmonic minor. Now let's listen to what A harmonic minor sounds like. Now you can hear that it sounds a bit better now. But there is this really large gap between the F natural and G sharp. So if you're playing this scale, remember that there's more than a whole tone between the F and G sharp. And that interval is what gives the harmonic minor its exotic sound. A lot of people call it Egyptian sounding. We're going to do one more version of the minor scale, and in order to reduce the space between F and G sharp, we're going to raise the F to sharp as well. So now we have A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. Now let's listen to what that sounds like so far. So that sounds pretty good. It sounds more melodic. But now let's listen to it going up and down. So it sounds pretty good going up, but coming down it sounds pretty strange. And that is because we now need to lower these two notes that we raised again in order to make it sound better. So we're actually going back to the natural minor when we're descending. So the rest of the notes to the melodic minor are G, natural, F, natural, E, D, C, B, and A. Now let's listen to what this sounds like. So that sounds much more melodic, and that's why this is called the A melodic minor, because you raise the notes going up and you lower them back coming down. Now I want to point out too that when you're writing this in music, you've got to actually write the natural signs in to cancel the sharp signs. So please remember to do that. Now let's try some exercises, and if you have the worksheets, you can follow along. Let's start with finding the relative minor of a major scale. And let's start with A major. Now it will help to write out the key signature first. So A major has 3 sharps. Father, Charles, goes. F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Now let's go back 2 notes from A in A major. So that brings us to G sharp and F sharp. So our answer is F sharp minor. Another way you could have done it without thinking about the key signature is just to go back 3 semitones from A, and that would take you to G sharp, G natural, and then F sharp. So you'll get the same answer. Let's try B flat major. Now B flat major has 2 flats, B flat and E flat. And we'll go back 2 notes from B flat, and that would be A and then G. And G doesn't have to be flat because it's natural in B flat major. So the relative minor of B flat major is G minor. Next, let's try taking a minor scale and finding its relative major. So let's try C minor. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go up 2 notes from C. Now we can't use the key signature to help us this time because we don't know what the key signature is yet. So 2 notes up from C is C, D, E. But first we have to check to make sure that these 2 agree with each other. So is there a C in E major? Well, if you remember, E major has 4 sharps, so that would be Father Charles goes down, so we would have a C sharp. So this can't be the right answer. It must be then E flat major, because E flat has a C natural in it. Now we can write our key signature. E flat major has 3 flats, battle ends, and B, E, and A. Now let's try E minor. So 2 notes up from E is E, F, G. And again, we want to double check to make sure there's an E in G major. G major only has 1 sharp, F sharp, so there is an E natural in G major, so that's good. Our answer is G major, and our key signature will be an F sharp.